Does anybody else want a copy of the minutes, if you didn't get a chance to read them? Copy of last time? Speak or forever hold your peace. Okay.
Does anyone else need an agenda or a copy of the minute that we're going to discuss?
Sometimes you have to talk to people 3 times.
Yeah. Sorry about missing those.
Oh, you were behind. I was looking for you everywhere.
I'm sorry I wasn't there.
I got all the copies. Is that the only thing you've seen? Nothing ever seen. Do you have a USB? I never seen it.
Oh, the minutes.
Monica, didn't I ask you already?
I thought he said he did whenever I got there.
I'll check my email real fast just in case.
We have these all over the house. Not really. They're my favorites. Except for none of ours have a little tap. He has a bad habit of
Well, friends, we've reached the appointed time. So in the interest of starting on time, we'll go forward. Wanted to welcome each one of you here to Cane Creek this morning. Thank you for coming out on a Saturday morning, a beautiful Saturday morning when you probably had things to do and places to be and things that you'd like to be doing. But thank you for coming and spending this time with us to help with the business of our association. I will amend the agenda a little bit. After roll call, David Hobson is going to share with us about the situation with Southern Appalachian yearly meeting, and that's the biggest thing. I'll do some add-on under AOC at the end of it. So I'm going to turn our meeting over to Reverend Cheryl Benson for devotion at this time.
Well, first of all, let us welcome you here to Cane Creek Friends Meeting. It's great to have you today for the mid-year conference, and we couldn't have a more beautiful day, could we? I thought this morning I'd do a short devotion on leadership, servant leadership. I know so many times we talk about leadership, you know, wanting to bring our youth into great leadership or building leadership within our churches. The other day I was talking to a lady and she said to me, she says, you know, I'm trying to become a member of this church. It wasn't a Quaker church. And she said, but then they want to just tell me what I'm going to do. You can do this role or you can do that role. And I looked at her and I said, where's the Holy Spirit in this? I said, did they not ask to pray with you? And that the leading of the Spirit guide you with the opportunity the Lord wants you to have. And I thought about that, and I thought about, you know, do we really listen to the Holy Spirit? If we are being, even in pastors, if we're going to a church, do we know that the Holy Spirit is leading us to that church? We're all gifted with many gifts and talents. But what we want are the opportunities that the Lord wants to lead us to do. And so this morning, from Mark 10:43, whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant. Leadership is not about exerting power and control, but serving others with humility and love. Jesus, our ultimate example of leadership, taught us that true greatness lies in sacrificial servanthood and selfless influence. And in this world that we often value ambition and self-promotion, leadership that is rooted in humility and compassion stands out. A servant leader seeks the well-being and the development of the people they lead, empowering them to reach their full potential. A servant leader listens, supports, and guides with empathy and grace. True leadership is not defined by titles or promotions, but by the impact that we have on other people. Every interaction, decision, and action provides an opportunity to lead with integrity, authenticity, and a genuine concern for others. As leaders, we are called to follow Jesus' example. And Jesus showed us many examples in the Bible of servant leadership, just like washing the feet of the disciples. We are called to lead with love, inspiring and empowering the people around us to grow and flourish. And our influence should reflect the character of Christ, nurturing an environment of trust and collaboration and mutual respect. May we embrace the call to leadership with humility and grace. And may we put the needs of others ahead of our own, seeking to serve rather than to be served. And as we lead with compassion and integrity, let's point others to the ultimate servant's leader, Jesus Christ. Shall we pray? Our Heavenly Father, we do thank you, Lord, for this beautiful day that we've had to come and gather. And we pray, Lord, as we look at the leadership of our churches and in developing those leaderships, that we do it with humility, love, and grace, and that we always follow your example. Grant us, Father, the wisdom and the compassion that we need to do so. And these things we ask in your holy name. Amen.
Amen.
All righty. Our recording clerk, Chris Flamer, will go ahead and do the roll call.
I hope you guys can hear me okay. If I can't, I can go up there. So I'm sort of, okay, y'all, okay. Got thumbs up from people in the back. All right, Goldsboro. Hood Swamp. Marmac. Archdale. Ashboro. Back Creek. Bethel. Cedar Square. 2. Okay. Marlboro. Randleman. Science Hill. A guy in the back. South Plainfield. Thomasville. Cane Creek. Oh, I knew there was going to be a bunch of hands. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. That's a, what's it, that big number of completeness? No. It's Center. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4? Okay. Concord. Liberty. Rocky River. All right. 1, 2, 3, 5. Brannon. Connection, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Deep Creek, 1, 2. Forbush, 2. Hunting Creek, Cornersville, Jeff. Mountain View, White Plains, Winthrop. Did I miss anybody? Visitors, guests. One guest, we got one guest, yeah, visitor. All right, I think that's it. Thank you.
Is this the time for regrets?
Hmm?
Is this the time for regrets?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if there are regrets, we can have them at this time.
I have two, Geraldine Brannon, Ron Brannon, and Eric Morrison.
Eric Morrison? Okay, yeah.
Thomas.
And Ray Luther.
Hmm.
Ray Luther.
Okay, Ray Luther.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mitch C. over,
Hmm.
Mitch C. He's got
Yeah, Mitch C.
coal and fever.
Okay.
Hmm.
Mitch C?
And I
Okay.
have one, Mary Ann McCullen and Deeds. Deeds fell and hurt his back pretty bad.
Oh.
After they got moved into friends' homes, but
Okay.
she said
Okay.
it's in her regrets.
All right.
All right.
Clerk, please, David Browse from Science Hill, felt the need to attend a funeral this morning for a longtime employee. And also interim pastor Alvin Battle wanted to be here, but he had already been invited to, help officiate at a, historical marker of dedication at Strebe Church.
Okay, great. We understand life goes on outside of FCNC.
And Judy Ritter, because Roy's in the hospital. Judy, because Roy's
Yeah,
in the
Judy
hospital.
Ritter.
Oh,
Anyone else? Okay. Well, by way of explanation, I've told a bunch of y'all that a mule bit me yesterday, and that's the reason for the bandaged thumb and slightly impaired situation this morning. That didn't break anything, just mashed it real good.
What's the condition of the mule?
Do what?
What's the condition of the mule?
Y'all would be proud of me. I didn't say anything. I didn't do anything. I just turned around like this, and my tech that was with me said, "She bite you?" Yeah, sure did. Sure did. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I was kind of proud of myself.
I noticed you had a thumbs up.
Yeah, it'll be thumbs up all day. I'll be holding it up. Be holding it up. Okay, we have a little bit of old business. David Hobson's going to bring us up to speed on the Southern Appalachian Yearly Meeting.
do you have to do the minutes? Record.
Oh, yeah, we need to do the minutes.
Okay, 1 second. Do we have to? Do you want me to? He wanted to forget about the minutes, but you know, unfortunately, we gotta approve them. I'm thanking all of you that got them, that did give me your corrections, so I did make those corrections, and so I had to separate out the Young Friends activities from the other missions. That's what Judith requested. And then David Hobson had some stuff on the disaster relief. He gave me some corrections for that, and so I appreciate that. Is there any other corrections you guys saw that you wanted done? Okay. So, do you have to do the approval or whatever?
So can I get an approval on the minutes as corrected? Thank you. All right. Now we'll move into old business. David, if you'd like to report on the condition of the Southern Appalachian Yearly Meeting members. Yeah.
real report is fairly brief. I do want to mention something I don't remember having in October from Friends Journal, and if you want the reference for it, I could always give you, but it was published on October 11th, 2024, so that was a couple of weeks before we met last. What I hear, things are going forward, trying to repair roads, repair bridges, repair houses or other stuff there. One thing I noticed this week, Baptist on Mission are opening a center like they have at Newbern. I don't know if it's permanent or temporary, where our disaster service has gone and stayed and worked with them in the Newbern area. They're opening one up in the Asheville area. So I would hope that we can respond with them as time allows and opportunity opens. Swannanoa Meeting House, as was mentioned in October, was practically destroyed. Well, not destroyed, but damaged so bad it's not worth repairing. 2 foot of mud and water up to the windows. They are currently meeting using space in an Episcopal church, so that's covered. CeeLo meeting further up the mountain. Their meeting house was not damaged that much. Road trouble, some families' homes damaged, but things are working out. I would encourage you to, even though it's old news now, to see if you want a glimpse of what really happened to some people with a little more detail, I would encourage you to look that up online. Quakers organized support for survivors of Hurricane Helene. We collected what we've done recent years, we call it a reverse Advent project, the female hygiene kits. And we collected, Dallas, how many total?
347.
And we took 235 up to a 4-county Head Start program for the mountain area there. And it's above Spruce Pine. And we took them up about a month ago. And they were really happy to have them. The letter we got back, there is a county place where disaster stuff can be asked for, disaster help. But this went through the kids in the daycare programs, etc. And the parents were a little more at ease to get them that way than have to go ask for them at a public center. And they were pleased with it. That's about what I can say right now.
Thank you, Dave. Okay. So at this time,
just a comment. The rug is here to walk on. It's to protect the cords and you from tripping.
There you go. Yeah, thank you. All right. Now, Ministry and Council met this morning. We can have their report at this time.
You'll have to follow the road.
Yeah, I'll let you
We'll have a little fun, right?
Yeah.
So Ministry and Council met this morning, had a good conversation, good gathering. It was a family-style gathering in the library. It was well attended. A couple of things that came out of it was some updates from a revitalization committee. So they are encouraging meetings to contact them, to work with them, or they can work with the meetings to discuss the future, goal setting, vision setting, that sort of thing. One item that was approved was sadly Hugh Spalding has submitted his resignation from that committee, and we approved a recommendation or approved the adding of Rusty Parsons to fill that vacancy on the revitalization committee. So that was well approved. The second thing is recording. Out of the recording committee came a recommendation to Ministry and Council that we conduct criminal background checks on recording candidates. So that will be done before they start their recording work. And the thought process and the discussion behind that through recording committee was that if we certify, and I'll put that in air quotes, if we record, certify, approve, ordain, whatever word you want to put in there, a minister of the gospel, and something happens, and that person has a background that is not in compliance with our faith and practice or our beliefs or our scripture as far as criminal acts are concerned, or there's some concern for the safety of our young people, and we ordain or record or certify or bless that person, we do hold some negligence and some liability there as a yearly meeting. Same thing with churches and meetings. If you employ a pastor, an employee, a church worker, a church volunteer, and you do not conduct the appropriate background check to ensure that they are allowed to be around children, working with vulnerable populations, and something happens, then that church meeting or organization holds the liability of negligence, and they can be sought out through civil processes. So with that being said, Ministry and Council has approved a recording committee to move forward with a background check process that would involve essentially, it's a web-based type thing now. Most employers do it, and we would find the appropriate employment background check company that has some pastoral pathways. Some churches or some meetings in our yearly meeting currently use one. Archdale, for instance, uses a pastoral focused background check company. So recording committee has the autonomy to determine that, to put that in place prior to the recording work beginning. So that will be step one, post approval and post giving to the recording committee for beginning their work. And then once that's done, then they can begin their recording committee work. And a background check takes about 24 hours. So there's no lapse in time. Now, part of that also, to answer any questions that may come up later on, that cannot be shared with the meetings. That is strictly a recording committee document that only the clerk of the recording committee will see, similar to the psychologicals, because that is protected information. Similarly, if you do this in your church, if you currently background check your employees or anything like that, that cannot be shared with anyone because that is a personnel record. So that cannot be then reversed. Oh, well, we've done it for Jimmy or Jane Smith, and they're fine. Here's their copy of their record. We cannot accept that. So that actually is in violation of a personnel record. So that's to protect the privacy of the individual. So that will begin immediately. We have already secured the pathways of funding that through the Christian Vocations Committee. It's a very small amount. It's like, I think, $12 to $24 a record. We currently have 4 candidates in the recording process. They'll go through that. And we'll, as far as recording is concerned, take care of getting the waivers, the appropriate documentation that they have to sign with that company to get that moving. Last thing is by way of announcement, May 17th. I shared this with Ministry and Councils. May 17th. May 17th. I'll say it one more time. May 17th at 9 a.m. at Center. This is for Ministry and Councils and pastors. Ministry and Councils and pastors. Not a rep. Everybody. Ministry and Councils and pastors. This is going to be a time, it is not a committee meeting. It is not a Quaker process meeting. This is a time to gather to discuss the future. This is a time, what one sheriff in the state calls it real talk. This is going to be real talk about our future moving forward. There have been some worries. We're all worried about the future of our meetings. The tenders are declining. The lack of pastors, the lack of leaders in our meetings. And so part of this is we need to get together with those who are charged with the spiritual condition, spiritual pulse of their meetings, and the spiritual leadership of the meetings, and sit down and really have some real talk about symptoms and root causes. And so this will be a time to gather in the Spirit of Jesus Christ, in His Spirit, to discuss what biblically we're supposed to be doing, what biblically we are charged with doing, what we are doing, and then what's going on in our meetings, what's going on in our world, and sit down and kind of focus on that and go from there to hopefully take the yearly meeting into the future and maybe set some vision and some mission setting for our yearly meeting into the future. Because that's not a one-person job, and it should never be put on one person to do. That's going to require all of our ministry and councils. So please, if you go back and you're the rep and you're not from ministry and council, tell them May 17th at 9 a.m. at Center in the fellowship hall. And it'll go, I promise you will be out by noon, if not earlier. But a dead stop will be noon. And all ministry and council members are welcome. This is going to be a time of collaboration, a time of honest sharing, and also a time of worship as well. Any questions? Thank you, clerk.
Thank you, Tommy. Was there anything else from recording? No.
Ray Luther gave me a call Wednesday just to add, besides the background check, we might have one candidate ready for recording annual sessions, but stay tuned. That's it.
Okay, so we may have one minister to record at annual sessions. Okay, great. All righty. Mike, do you have anything additional for revitalization?
Just a couple of things, just to, I know you can hear me.
It's helpful for the online folk to go up
Right.
there. Thank you.
At Science Hill, it was approved for revitalization to take the lead on this, but through the process, the small committee that we are, and those that can't make the meetings and stepping aside, that probably won't be on the committee going forward, we reached out to Ministry Council and had a meeting with them, and that's what Tommy was talking about, and that's the reason for setting up the May 17th meeting. It was approved to meet with all the ministry councils. It's our hope that on the 17th, we can get everyone to come together and a process of how this would happen and a way it would happen that we could develop that. And I would be glad to give you my email address. It's chickenhouse@ydtel.net. Most of you've got all kinds of stuff over the years, but if you don't have it, that's it. And the reason I'm giving that to you, would you send me just a ABC whatever, and I will send you the information that's been sent out over the years. So any of you that's not seen it, you wouldn't be starting from ground level. You would have an opportunity to look over this stuff and know what revitalization is about, what we would like to come and help you do, and what we'd like to do in the future. And it's like Tommy said, all of it's about developing leadership. There is some great successes that has happened in the last year or two. There's some that hasn't gained much ground, but there's some that's come from nothing back to a great number. Well, not a great number, 38, 40 on Sunday morning, and they are growing. There are others that we've met with that has developed things that has reached out in their ministry too, but we've not had the response that we wanted. And folks, if we don't start growing some leadership within our meetings, the invisibility of the Quaker Church is going to get worse. At one time in North Carolina, you go back, history, a lot of people don't want to hear history, but if you go back further enough, the Quaker Church had a lot of influence in what went on in society in North Carolina, Eastern Coast, and helped grow our government as we know it in the United States in a good way. We can have those same influences today, not politically, but to grow leaders, to grow people that people look to, that kids look to, that they grow up and love them, and that there is a part of their life that they can say, that person mentored me and made a difference in my life. And that's what this is all about. But one more thing, if you go to Faith and Practice, look under elders, you'll find out that what I'm telling you is what you're supposed to be doing to start with. And that's look for people with spiritual gifts, with ministry, with all kinds of things that can help your meeting and your community grow, internally and externally. You know, people talk about putting numbers on the board. You put numbers on the board, you're doing something. But it's not all about numbers. It's about growing this. So that's what it's about. Don't take this lightly. Please send this to me. I'll send you information. Please have somebody come on the 17th. Please have somebody come. We've got to do this. We've got to. If it's not a ministry council person, if all of them have commitments, get the clerk of the meeting, get somebody to come. We need at least 27 meetings showing up with an urgency to do business and to grow leadership within their meeting. Questions?
Repeat your email.
chickenhouse@yadtel.net. That's Yakin Valley telephone, by the way. Anything else?
I have a question.
Yes.
I know I don't belong to ministry and council or to revitalization, but have you guys, I mean, we used to have a chain of prayer, and I included all the meetings, and I just feel that all these things we're trying to do through revitalization and these projects, I mean, you're looking for leadership. Well, I think we need to pray about all of these things that we need. If we don't ask the Lord to help us, then all the decisions we make are just decisions that we're trying to force from ourselves. And that's not, I don't feel that's the way it should be. So I'm just asking you to consider that a chain of prayer might be a good thing. I know that our church did one in the end of January, and we're going to do another one May 2nd, 3rd. And I know it's kind of hard to fill the spots, but yet we worked it out. So I would encourage you guys, before this May 17th meeting, which isn't very far away, consider either all of us as a group doing it on one day, or you guys pick a day and do it. And pray about these things that we need. We do need this. We do need leadership. We need people to fill positions. We see it's struggling. I know people are retiring. So, consider it. Just putting it out there. Thank you.
Chris, is true. You get a calendar. You get a calendar every month, and it asks you for pray for our meetings, pray for our pastors.
Right.
Over the years, if you say you've never heard about this, go to your pastor, go to your clerk, go to your ministry council clerk, because I've sent it to every one of them monthly for a couple of years about what was going on. So it's been out there, and I'm not trying to throw anybody on the bus. I'm just saying the train's getting ready to leave the station, folks, and we got to do something. It may have already left, but we can do something. We can catch it if we get on board and start doing something. And I'll do one more thing. And it's, before we did goal setting, we did visioning and goal setting 18 months ago. And we've got people coming to church that hadn't come in years. And we've got 9 new adult couples coming in. We've got some young kids coming in that's coming with those young adults. Things are coming back. Programs that we did are coming back. Ministries that we did coming back. COVID didn't kill us. It just throwed us something on the wheel. We got the chalk out. And it doesn't mean that everybody else can do it too. We're not a poster child by any means. We got a long ways to go. We're just doing a lot of stuff that we already been doing all the time. We're not doing anything new, but all of us can do it. If I can encourage you any way just to step forward and get back to doing things that your mamas and daddies and grandmas and grandpas did, you're not going to believe it. Chris is right. 5 minutes of prayer every morning will do wonders. I'm preaching again. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. David, I have you on for Finance Committee, if you'll come.
Go through the traffic circle.
Recording.
We spoke to that.
When we were at our pastor's retreat, Mike Wall brought up a suggestion that we, in true Quaker fashion, try to keep it simple, and that FCNC do something in terms of retirement, however modest it might be for our pastors. And so his suggestion was that we as a pastor set up an IRA and make it available to contribute to that IRA, whether it's the meeting, FCNC, the individual, whatever. Sounds simple, right? No. So we reached out to Judith, who is our resident financial expert, and although she tells you she's not a retirement specialist, there are those. And so we're still investigating what's involved in that, and all of the, I was mentioned it to somebody a couple of days ago about how when you try to do some ministry in whatever way, for instance, we at Southern Quarter did a handicap ramp for an elderly couple. And Roger Green knows all about this. Before we could get the ramp completed, the wife passed away. And about a month after we got it finally finished, the husband passed away. Because it took months. Because you have to get building inspectors. And you have to meet codes. And we didn't even know that these codes existed. We didn't know that you had to dig the footing 3 times. Because we didn't do it right the first 2, even though he had told us how we thought we had to do it. So the finance is even more complex than that. And so we're finding that out, and Judith is working with us, and so we're finding out what has to be done, and we'll have to talk to some specialists in retirement planning. Whatever. You'd think it would be simple, but, and I think that is a symptom of our society today and the problem with Quakerism in our society. We try to keep it simple, and society doesn't want to allow that. And so we're going to try to keep it simple, but yet meet all those jots and tittles. And in case you don't know what that means, that's your crossing T's and dotting I's. That's the actual term for that. So next time that comes up on Jeopardy for you, you'll know it. The Finance Committee otherwise, pretty much we're standard. We're doing okay. We'll have, of course, annual sessions and have a full report there, and then budget day will follow in September. So we'll be planning for that, and thank you for being faithful.
Thank you. I had Dusty Ball down for the Ministers Association just on the off chance that he could be here. Is there anyone that wants to speak to activity in the Ministers Association?
As the clerk, please.
Yes.
The only thing I could say is that as the outgoing has been leader of that organization, Dusty, thank him for taking over. You know, one of our biggest concerns stems from about everybody's situation. Our numbers at the retreat, our numbers participating are going down because people are aging out, and we have a continuing concern about getting our bivocational pastors engaged. We have a lot of pastors, they just can't take time off to do that. So we're continuing to work on that, trying to brainstorm ideas. But the retreat, as is always the case in the last few years, been very fruitful for everybody that was there, that I'm aware of.
Right. And it may be that we as meetings need to try to make provision for and help our pastors in any way possible attend that retreat, because everything I've heard back from it's been very positive, very worthwhile, very uplifting for the participants. So maybe think about that as you go back to your meeting, and when a pastor's retreat is coming up, try to find some way, even if your pastor is bivocational, maybe to help him enough financially so that he can see his way clear to attend. Okay. Eric Morrison sent his regrets today, but he has Paul Ruth to come on board and give us a Friends Campus Ministry report and bring something to our attention for approval.
Oh, gotta switch. All right, 2 jobs at once.
Yeah. While Paul's getting things ready, something that Mike Fulp said that kind of resonated with me. I used to be kind of a North Carolina history buff, and did you realize that at one point in time, half of our state legislature were Quakers? And that we have had a Quaker governor in the state?
John Archdale.
John Archdale, okay. So, yeah, early on in the history of this state, Quakers were a huge influence. I think we can still be salt and light, and have our influence even in this time.
Tommy didn't follow the whole roller. That is quite a curvy road over there.
I know he'd still be there if he had.
Yeah, he'd still be there going on. Anyway, welcome from Friends Campus Ministry. I'm going to turn it over to Allie in just a minute. But I have what we wanted to present. Do I need to read this whole thing? Because I've never done this before.
Can't read it, it's kind of long.
Okay, it's too small. All right. So we had a recommendation to Rep Body back in October, and so we're presenting what we were charged to do, which was the Friends Campus Ministry Board met this week on Tuesday, March 25th, 2025, to discuss the membership of the board. After much discussion, the board makes the following recommendations to Rep Body of Friends Church of North Carolina. 1. Recommended membership of the board to be made up of the following. A member or appointed by Outreach Commission, a member from or appointed by Christian Education Commission, a member from or appointed by the Ministering Council Executive Committee, a member from or appointed by the Administrative Oversight Committee, a member at large to be selected by the Nominating Committee in association with the Friends Campus Ministry Board, then our ex officio member, FCM coordinator, and the terms of each appointment shall follow the guidelines from Faith and Practice and the Administrative Handbook, each term to be 3 years and not to exceed 2 consecutive terms. That's part 1 of what y'all challenged us to do. We actually shortened that. There was some others in there from Quaker Men and USFW, and when you get past 5 members, it's just hard to get together as a committee and get to working, and these are the committees that basically, essentially, hands-on help Friends Campus Ministry survive, work, donate to, control the funds, help us with ministry, everything. So we thought we would take it down to that. That is part 1. That's that small top part on the other side. Number 2, the at-large position, because I know you want to know what that's about, is defined as follows. An at-large member shall be affiliated with or have experience with Friends Campus Ministries, another college campus ministry, or Quaker Lake Camp. It is preferred that the at-large member be a member of FCNC. At-large member be a part of FCNC. The FCM board is still working on a rotation schedule, and we're currently made up of Eric Morrison, who's our chairperson from Outreach Commission, myself, Paul Ruth from Christian Education Commission, Rita Mittmeyer, who currently is at large because I think she was our USFW representation and she's stuck with us for a while. She's a member of Cedar Square. Carrie Lineberry, at large, she's the one that we've actually asked. Who's a former FCM pastor and coordinator. So she's done both jobs. So she had skills that we really wanted to obtain. And then we have David Robinette Jr., who we think he was from Quaker Men, so he'd be currently considered at large from Center Friends. The second page says, at this time, there is no official representation from Ministering Council, Executive Committee, or the Administrative Oversight Committee. Please note, this is from Eric, he said, please note we requested 2 at-large positions at the fall rep body, but, this is what I said earlier, but with further discussion, we feel that a smaller board size would be more advantageous at this time. respectively submitted Friends Campus Ministry Board. So I've just read that entire screen over there. See, there's a reason Michael over there sat on the front row. He didn't have to get glasses out or anything.
I took a picture too.
Oh, okay. Roger, I'll turn it over to you right now.
Okay. Are there questions for Paul about this proposal? If not, will friends approve? Oh, go ahead.
I'm thinking back at maybe something else that was discussed. Is there anything in regard to the fact that some of these might be of college age or just out of college instead
Okay,
of all
as far as the age groups represented?
The well, we would. How you talking about the representatives? That can be decided by each individual committee, like Outreach, Christian Ed, anybody like that, even administrative oversight, administrative council. If they find somebody that they want to represent them, and it's of that age, they can send them. It's whoever they want to choose. I feel that we've talked about that for about 45 minutes on a Zoom call, and your mind kind of goes in that dead. Anyway, but I don't see any problem in having anybody from that age group. In fact, Carrie and Allie, I believe, are our current youngest ones on the committee, and they both have obviously graduated college, but I think they have a good insight for us. If you want to send somebody, we'll take them.
Okay. Further discussion, further questions? Tommy?
Not to increase the size, because I totally agree, a smaller group, working group gets things done. Just a thought, maybe for the future, an ex officio current college member that's part of FCM could be someone from whatever campus may be. Kind of maybe going to Connie's point is the thinking, maybe having a young person guaranteed, if you have someone that's active in FCM that's currently in college, have them as an ex officio college student representative, however you want to call it, but still have your working group small. Just a thought process.
Okay. All right. So if you didn't hear that, Tommy suggested that in the future maybe an ex officio member of one of the campus ministries at FCM be on that board as well. Anything else? Yes, Brent.
Clerk, Eric is representing the Outreach Commission, but that was a long time ago, probably a decade. So I'm thinking that the Outreach Commission, speaking on behalf of them, we'd be glad to appoint someone who's currently on the Outreach to serve on this committee, because we do provide funding for them, and then we're held accountable to the meeting incorporated to report on how those funds are used. So I think it'd be good if we had a current member on the commission on the Friends Campus Ministry, and we could do that. Regarding Eric, he could move, if he wants to stay on the committee, he could move to a ministry council or Christian Ed or perhaps one of those other positions.
Okay.
But just offer that as a thought there.
Okay. So what would friends think of asking the Outreach Commission to appoint someone who's currently serving on Outreach? It didn't occur to me that there might be some people that would fall in that category, used to be on this, used to be on that, but that these committees be represented by current members on the committees. And if Eric's chairman, he would be, he could still be chairman, but maybe need another outreach representative. Any comment? I
have a comment for it.
Okay.
A lot of us, like Rita, myself, Eric, have been on there because we were asked to continue our terms, like a lot of you were when we did the split. And so we might have been appointed onto this committee back before we ever split off, and nobody wanted to let our college students fall by the wayside. So we stuck it out for a long time. You said 10 years, and I guarantee you Eric's been on there for at least 10 years, because he was there when I started on this. That's why we were not sure how to start our terms. That's why we kind of left that open-ended on this right now. We want to do like the rest of the handbook, but currently we have no sight yet on which way, who's coming off first. We don't want to dump the whole board at one time, because then you lose your continuity of what's been going on and why things are in place. But I can tell you that yes, some people would like to either step away or finally hand the reins over to someone else that is representing your committee. And again, your committee, you can appoint somebody on your committee or if you feel somebody you know that can report back to your committee, even if it's a young person in your group that you might know, that would be fine, just long as you know that they're going to work hard for our college students. That's what we're really trying to ask. And that's my comment.
Clerk, just to be clear, my comment had nothing to do with replacing Eric.
Oh, no.
Been there a long time.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering how this could work. If we had a current representative from outreach,
Yeah.
I think that would be good. It'd be good for us. It'd be good for reporting and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Eric could either be represent one of those other groups, or he could just remain and just phase this in.
Right.
There's no date that it begins. We can just phase it in over the next few years.
Right.
It remain right there. Yeah. We've been doing that for how long? Phasing it in?
Clerk,
Yeah.
please. Clerk, please.
Yes.
You may remember when we transitioned FCM, Friends Church of North Carolina out of North Carolina yearly meeting. There were a lot of people that were given 1 year, 2 year, 3 year terms in order to facilitate a transition. All you have to do is name some of these people to be 1, 2, 3 years starting now, and you've got a transition. Or you can make all the current ex officio, and you can name a whole new group and make them ex officio for 2 years. You've got a variety of ways you can make this work. You just got to be flexible in how you do it, and it's the way you get younger people on this if you will make that a mission of these named entities.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Good.
And that's not a precedent. Other communities have done the same thing. Revitalization went into rotation, recording went into rotation. It's happened, so it's not something starting new.
Some of the committee members have volunteered to be first off, so but yes, we would like to have some appointed folks.
Okay. Any other discussion? Any other questions? Okay.
If it's approved, this body needs to communicate to these committees, get this done.
Yeah, get this done.
Don't just leave it in the minutes.
Right. Get this done. Good point. All right. Would Friends approve the proposal from FCM board then? Approve. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Are we giving them direction on how are we going to give them how they do? Because I like what Don said about the transition. Give them the autonomy to determine that transition. I want to make sure we give them that permission if that's what we so desire.
Is that what the board would prefer that I would think?
Yes. Well, we already have 3 at large. It wouldn't take but 2 more to be all of us at large. So Yes, if you want to go ahead and give us some names, let us know, who you have appointed to the Friends Campus Ministry, that would be great. And we'll run with it. And we plan to set up, well, we still want to follow the handbook, the 3-year, 2-term thing. So, we need to try to, coordinate with you who will be going off. They might only run 1 year for their first term kind of thing, so we can be appropriate to our guidelines on the handbook.
Excuse me, your other option would be for you to phase out current persons,
Right.
1, 2, 3, and then everybody new serves a 3-year term. You have that option as well. And if you've got 3-year terms, you're gonna go 2-2-1 or 2-1-2 in order to get your rotation for 5 people.
Right. Right, yeah, that's what we're trying to do without having everybody go off at the same time.
Right.
Jeff has a
Please.
question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Excuse me, Paul.
No.
Clerk, please, I think what we're just asking is just for this body to give them the autonomy to make that decision, how they're gonna do it.
Yes.
Rather than all of us trying to make a decision for them.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I think
Amen.
that'd be much the best if that suits this body.
Somebody said an amen, that was good.
Biannual sessions.
Biannual
Yes.
sessions, yes, okay.
Deadlines are a good thing.
So I will make the contacts and you want to be the contact person that they give those names to?
Everybody should have my email,
Yeah.
and I'll forward it on to Eric,
Okay.
and then we'll take it from there. But is that fair for everybody? Think everybody agree? Okay.
Clerk, please,
Yes.
since this has been approved, when will we see a copy of that, that's on the screen, of what you proposed?
I mean, it's gotta go to the handbook. Is there any other kind of committee it needs to go through after this?
We won't.
Clerk, please.
Yeah.
If it's going in the handbook, it has to be approved at annual sessions.
Okay, so we'll have to have it ready for that.
Okay.
And if anybody wants to, there was no changes to this other than, did I miss a change? Let me make sure.
Under working document,
Right, it is a working document.
rather than already approved with the date.
Right.
Working document,
Okay,
until you get it approved, and then your document, if everything goes like that, you just have to run another copy and change the title at the top.
Okay.
okay. Sounds good, thank you.
Okay.
I may see you later.
Thank you, Carl.
Sorry, I was trying to get off the hot box over here, so Allie has come to us this year, sorry for hitting my thing. And we got the chance to hire her in December? January, but you started in January. We interviewed her in December and got her to start in January for this semester for our Friends Campus Ministry, team. We've been short person for just a little over 1.5 years, maybe 2 years now. And Allie came to us, we didn't go to her, I think you came to us, didn't you?
It was
a very God moment.
It stemmed from USFW
Yeah,
meeting,
so-
but yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we're very glad to have her. The little history, if y'all don't know the history of her, if you know Sherry Hilton, that's her daughter. So you got some caliber quality going on right there. If you know Tommy, that's where she makes it fun and stuff for everybody. So, but I'm gonna turn it over to her to talk about our current campus ministries. And I'll see y'all later.
Good morning, everybody. Like you said, I'm Allie Hilton. So just kind of, it was sort of cool how I ended up in this. My mother, Sherry Hilton, is actually right now the president of USFW, I think. I should know that for sure, but I'm seeing some nods. And so she went to one of them, and someone, I can't remember who, mentioned to her that they were looking for this FCM coordinator. And she kind of mentioned it to me in passing. I actually work at Victory Junction Camp for my, full, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday job, and I've gotten very busy in the last year and a half, 2 years. And my mom was kind of thinking that it wouldn't be something that I would have the capacity for and maybe not the interest in right now. So she just mentioned it to me in passing, and I was like, oh, it's not a no. I was like, I would obviously need to go and pray about it and spend some time thinking about it. I tend to, when I do things, I fully do them, and I just have to be really honest with myself of whether or not I have the capacity to do so. And I think probably less than 24 hours after I said it's not a no to my mother, I did get a text from Rita Mittmeyer that was like, Allie, I heard you might be interested in this. I think that you'd be wonderful, praying that this is something that you're truly considering. Let me know if you have any questions. So Rita and I talked a little bit about it, and then she got me connected with Eric, and he and I had some conversations, and then I was able to meet with everyone, and we moved forward with it. And so I think it's just been, for me, it's been a really wonderful thing. I grew up at Marlboro my whole entire life there. Been very involved at Quaker Lake Camp in a lot of different capacities. And I just had kind of had a lot of experience with leading peers, leading youth. I used to be a high school teacher before I was at Victory Junction. I did a few years as a young life leader while I was there. And I've been away from that for a few years, of that kind of mentoring in the faith role, and a kind of, obviously there's people I've built relationships with, but when in an official capacity. So I'd already kind of been feeling this urge and this nudge to get back into that, but nothing had felt organic, and I didn't, again, I've gotten very busy at work, and so I didn't feel like I had the time to really force anything. That's never really been my spirit. I like for things to happen organically. I like to feel the conviction in it, and so I'd already just kind of separately started knowing that was something I wanted and praying about it, and then this conversation all kind of happened. So it led me to this. So we've started in January. This semester has been a lot of me just kind of getting my footing. Like Paul mentioned, these campus pastors have gone for quite a while without someone specifically in this role. So they have gotten accustomed to being independent as much as possible. Obviously, Eric's done a great job with them when he can, but the reality is that there's a difference between someone who their specific role is providing that support and that guidance for those campus pastors, and they haven't had it for a bit. So it's kind of been establishing communication with them, trying to build relationship with them over the last 3 months, and it definitely has been harder, I think, than I thought it was going to be, just because we aren't together physically, and I think, best relationships are done when you're face to face, and so just figuring out their schedules and kind of, being able to establish that. So we've been taking baby steps this semester at Appalachian, so App State. We have a program there, and Emery is our campus pastor there, so she's been doing it since her freshman year. This is her 3rd year doing it, and so that's there. So they have been, I know this semester's been hard because a lot of them were impacted by the hurricane, and they've been impacted by that and getting back into whether it was their home or their cars or their families. Some of them, their families live in the area full time. And so it's been a rocky kind of semester for them to get back. So we've just been trying to establish that relationship and help them with any of those inconsistencies. I actually talked to her earlier this week, and one of their biggest things has been finding a night that they can consistently meet, but for the last couple weeks they felt good, more people have been showing up, so they're just trying to get back into a rhythm there. And then we have Caden, who is our campus pastor at NC State University. So he is, actually all of our current campus pastors have worked at Quaker Lake as well. So I've been somewhat familiar with them because I have either gone and worked with the staff in orientation or led devotionals or been there in some capacity over the last few years. So that has been nice. But Caden's wonderful. He is very, very grounded in his faith, which is a really awesome thing to see. In general, in a college age student, for me, I don't know, there's something about seeing it in a male college age student as well, and he really steps into that. So they have been pretty consistent. I would say they're probably our most consistent group right now. Meeting, he says they have anywhere between like 8 to up to 20 sometimes people, just depending on the season, depending on specifically what they're doing. So that's been cool to hear. He also is constantly the one who's like, hey, like this happened tonight, like it was kind of an awkward conversation, I didn't really know how to navigate that, and he'll be like, what would you have done in that? So he's been really cool to kind of work with, and he really wants to do it well, and he wants to do it in a way that truly connects these students to the Lord, which has been really encouraging to see. Then we have Wilmington. So we have Jackson at Wilmington, who is our current campus pastor. He has also been doing it. I think this was his 3rd year as well. It's going to be his last year because he actually graduated last year and continued to do it for us this year, but he has a full-time job and he knows it's his time to kind of step away from it. But we've got Paige, who has been going for years and is going to be stepping into it next semester. So we've already got some good continuity there. They're awesome as well. They've got a lot of regularity. I think for them, their goal is to grow and to get new people in. So they've got a core group there that's been coming for the last couple of years. So they're really the goal. And Paige, I know that's one of Paige's big goals as well, is to get new people next year to kind of come and join their group. And then one really exciting piece of news is that we actually started a group at UNC Chapel Hill. So it was sometime in January. It was one night I was sitting and working on FCM stuff, and I opened my email and had an email from 2 college students at UNC Chapel Hill, and they were like, hey, Allie, we heard that you were in this role now. We kind of have been doing a group here. We'd love to grow it. We didn't know if there was any opportunity to get involved with FCM. So it was really cool because actually one of them, when we had talked about, I know one of our goals was to get back at another campus. We'd been talking about UNCG, but we didn't necessarily have anyone there that we knew would take it and kind of run with it. And I'd actually thought about UNC Chapel Hill, and I'd thought about Grace, who is a student there, and I know her a bit better, and she also has worked at Crater Lake. And I was like, she would be wonderful. I just couldn't remember what year she was and if it made sense. And it was actually Grace and her friend Emma who reached out to me before I could even reach out to them. But I told them, I was like, that felt like a really, this feels like exactly where we're supposed to go, because I had already kind of started to feel that in my spirit, just hadn't had the conversations. And then these college students had the initiative and reached out to me. So we have been able to start that at UNC Chapel Hill. I think they technically got started at the end of February, I think is when it may have been the beginning of March. So I think it was end of February. So they've kind of jumped into it though, and they're awesome. I'm going to their group on Wednesday actually of this coming week to kind of meet them and meet the people who've been attending. And that's again one of their things too, is they already were kind of doing just this Bible study with their friends, and they want to grow it. And I just think that's such a cool thing to have those college students that have the passion to not only be within their small circles, but make those circles larger. And so that's what we've got going at UNC Chapel Hill, and I'm really excited about them. So Grace technically graduates undergrad this year, but Emma will be there for another couple of years. So they're kind of tag teaming it right now, and then next year I think Emma will really take it on. And so I'm really excited about that. So that's just kind of where we're at now. Lots of good things coming. I think again the transition of them getting used to having someone back in this role has been somewhat challenging for all of us, but they've been wonderful through it. And I told them the other night, I was like, I know it's got to be odd for them to have a 30-something woman being like, hey, it's me again. Like, I'd love to talk to you on the phone, or I'd love to come see you. But they've been really receptive and awesome with it. So we're excited. All of the people who we know we'll have next year are lined up, and they're excited for what's to come. Yeah. Anything from you? Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Yes.
I want to express a definite support of FCM. I think it sounds like there's some wonderful things going. So kudos to you. Kudos to your group that's expanding. Even if it is at Tar Heel land, it's okay. For all the Carolina fans in the congregation. The one thing I wanted to clarify was the approval of what we just did. The change, I was just looking, the change doesn't have to go to yearly meeting. Administrative handbook changes can be changed at rep body. So I want to make sure that we don't kill them by process. So according to the handbook, it says that revisions to the administrative handbook is done at rep body. It does not have to go to yearly meeting. So I just want to give them, again, I want to support it and pave a way that they can just clearly move forward with whatever they need to do. So just wanted to clarify that so we don't kill them to death by process. Just the only thing I wanted to throw out there.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Yes, faith and practice that has to go at annual sessions.
Right.
The handbook can be done at rep body.
So the handbook can be done at rep body, faith and practice has to be
an
done
annual
at annual sessions. So what we approved here today.
Handbook.
Yeah, will allow them to go forward.
Yeah.
At this time. Okay, all right. Yeah. And I think it's wonderful having had a student at Chapel Hill who, by the way, came back to me the same fine human being she was when I sent her down there. And I was proud of that.
Just wear some more blue.
Yeah.
They need all the help they can get there.
Why don't we send one, we need to send a missionary to Durham, I think, don't we?
Get over to Duke, I don't know, that's pretty Methodist.
Now, have y'all know, there's a lot of Carolina fans here at Cane Creek.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I
Just
do.
in Greensboro, Chapel Hill Road, right here.
Yeah, there are a lot of Carolina fans everywhere. I've come to realize that. I grew up in a small rural county, and I was pretty sure that most of the Carolina fans couldn't find Chapel Hill on the map. But anyway, they sure were Tar Heel fans. Go.
Clerk, please.
Yes.
On that note, I know we're joking, but if you know somebody in your church that's going to one of these universities that Allie's mentioned, please contact Allie or myself, and I'll pass it on to Allie, so that we can get them connected. Because if we've got ministry there, why not give them a chance to come to it?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Where can we find your email? Because I'm a youth pastor and I have every year new students.
You want to do your
I'll
Allie
just say,
Hilton?
I can tell you here now, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just Hilton Allie. So it is spelled HYLTON, ALLIE. So just Hilton Allie @gmail.com.
Your last name?
Hilton HYLTON
And that was at what.com?
@gmail.
Gmail.com. Okay.
It'll soon be on your screen if I don't fall.
I was about to say, I think Paul's putting it on the screen.
Yeah, put it up
Yeah, please reach out to me for any of it.
Yeah, the more we follow up individually, the more we take action once we get back to our meetings, the more these things are gonna mean. Anyone else before we move to Brent?
Is that right, Allie?
It is, yep.
Okay.
Okay, Brent, if you would come share with us outreach in Jamaica.
Is her thing Gmail?
Yeah.
Just a few comments about the Outreach Commission. The Outreach Commission is responsible for overseeing 4 of our endowment funds. They are Church Extensions, Vocations, the Barker account, and Vocations, the general account, and the 4th one would be Evangelism. The balances in all of our endowment accounts are very good. They are, I don't have the numbers, but I can confidently say that they're a little bit better than they were at the annual sessions. So if you have your minutes, and you can look those up, because there has been an allocation from the endowments to those funds, and so they're at least as good as they were at that time. I can also tell you that all of these funds are being actively used at the current time. And I make that as a point because sometimes we go a long time without any activity on one of them. To begin with, the Church Extension Fund is currently active in supporting Thomasville. Harmony Grove is the one that's kind of been referenced, maybe not, but spoken. Harmony Grove is one that we worked with for a good while, 3 or 4 years. It was dormant, wasn't meeting, and today you heard the report from Revitalization. They have it's a very active meeting. They're standing alone, they're on their lawn, and they're doing well, and we are no longer providing funds to them. Another project that we have that's active, we have an active grant with Kernersville. And Jeff, hopefully we can get that one moving forward and not too, I know you're getting close, the last word I heard on that one, so. You want to make a comment?
The day after I made that report, the guy took his name out of the hat. So we're back
Okay,
to square one.
so we took a step back, maybe.
Yeah.
All right.
We're still praying about it.
And hey Jeff, the grant is still approved.
Thank you.
Very good. Okay, on the Vocations Barker Fund, Mike Wall, you'll be interested in this. We now have one application. And I think you had mentioned that to someone in a recent trip, so that they have applied, and so I'll be getting with the other members of the committee, and we'll be taking some action on that pretty soon. And then on the vocations for the general fund, it's pretty much an education fund. It's a loan program, and we have one application for some funds on that one as well. And then on the evangelism fund, it's the smallest of the 4 funds, and our funds go to, Allie, the funds go to Friends Campus Ministry. So we are interested in how those funds are being used, a few $1,000s per year. In addition to that, let me just mention to everyone else information, in addition to supporting Friends Campus Ministry with evangelism funds, there are a few funds available for other use. I would say there's probably $2,000 there that could go to support an evangelism project that any of you might have. I think about the folks that we've all known when the house was full, and all these people that have come for 350 years and put money into these funds, and now we are receiving the benefits of those. And so we receive hundreds of thousands of dollars every year that go into these funds as well as mission funds, and I'm sure there are other endowment funds out there. And it wouldn't really be complete just to have the money. People gave their money so that they for a purpose, and so now it's up to us to put these funds to use. Okay, let me move along. Let me move along to Jamaica. 2 areas of comments. I want to talk about the Vacation Bible School, something that this yearly meeting has been doing and sponsoring since 1992. I guess that would make this year would be about our 30. What's my math, man? 33. So many years that we've been going down there. I was going to be smart enough about how to do my math there. The dates are July the 7th through the 19th. 7th is on a Monday, and the 19th will be, so we'll be gone 12 or 13 days there. The cost to participate has not increased in years. It's still $1,200 per person. How are we able to do that? I'll just briefly tell you that we've never used all $1,200 per person. Back in the good old days, a round trip ticket might be somewhere around $250, maybe $300. The balance of those funds went to pay for the supplies and the materials, food, etc., vehicles and so forth to carry out the Vacation Bible School. Well, today we use more and more of that money, the $1,200, to get there and to get back, and food and so forth for our personal use. But it's not been increased because we have funds coming from our endowment. And the Missions Committee has been very good over the years to help fund our missions in Vacation Bible School in Jamaica. What we do need is we need people. Every year we always care people. Last year Amanda and her son William went with us, and we teamed up with Michael went. We teamed up with Jamaicans when we get there, and we went to 9 of their meetings and provided Vacation Bible School lessons for 3 days at each one of them. Well, this year we're going to be expanding. We've had a request to come to Worthington. We've been there before. It's in Kingston. It's their larger meeting. They now have a youth group, and they have asked me in person if we would have someone come there, provide vacation Bible school for them. So we'll be expanding. We have our curriculum determined. We're ready for our lessons and our crafts and so forth. So again, the dates are July the 7th through the 19th. Help to recruit folks that would go with us. It'll be an experience of a lifetime. Amanda, wouldn't you say that would be an accurate statement?
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
it.
my teenage son just happened to be sitting out in the car because he didn't want to come in here, but, he was very much not looking forward to that trip, but by the time we left, he was like, I'm so glad I went, and we're already fundraising to go this year too.
William was a changed young man.
Yes, he
I
was.
think any of us that were there could see that.
He was having some legal issues and some problems at school and before that trip, and this year he's just been totally different, so.
Wow. Amen. Well, so that is our need this year. Let me say also, we do not need money this year. Last year, I told you that we needed a little bit of money, left to have a couple $1,000s because our Jamaica friends had asked us if we would provide a little more nutritious meal as opposed to the sweeties, the little candy bars that we give them and refreshments that we give at the end of our sessions. Well, you folks stepped up and contributed $4,200 to that fund. And it cost about right at $2,000 to provide every student with a sandwich last year. I had estimated to take about $1 to provide a sandwich and a meal, drinks and so forth. And that's exactly what it took, and $2,000. That's about how many students that we had by going to each church 3 times. So I think we have enough funds to provide another meal this year. What we do need, instead of money, we could use a little bit of help on providing a goodie bag. You know what the goodie bag is? It's the typical things that we've put in it for years: a washcloth, small soap, shampoo, toothpaste, those personal items, and a toothbrush. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 things we need. We could all use a pack of pencils and a small notepad. So if you could help us collect those things within the next 75 days or so, why, that would be great, just to collect those items for us.
Could you repeat that list?
I will, absolutely.
Or send it, excuse me, if you could send it out to us. I think my church would do that, if you'll send it.
I could do that, yeah. Well, I'll send it out, but again, it's the washcloth. And then, of course, we need soap, shampoo, and toothpaste, personal items. And we need toothbrush, and then some pencils and a notepad.
Okay.
So I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 little items there. You don't have to provide all 7. You might just provide a few toothbrushes or a few packs of pencils or something. Let me mention this to you. We have had the goodie bags and we put a little toy in them. The little toys oftentimes came from McDonald's in the little gift bags. The kids there just love those little toys. There's not a McDonald's in Jamaica. There's only Kentucky Fried Chicken, and I can count all of them on one hand. And the same thing for Burger King. That's the only 2 fast foods that I'm aware of that are there. So if they see a little gift item that came from Jamaica, that came from McDonald's, it's the first time they've seen it. So they don't have them there, and they would love to receive those little things.
They don't have one at Seaside?
That's a good one.
How many bags, how many people are you serving?
There's about maybe about 500. By the time we're going to go to 10 meetings this year, and so I think that would adequately cover it. It might be a little bit high, maybe 400, something like that.
What kind of bag?
How many bags?
What size?
Yeah, quart Ziploc bags. That'd be great too. Because those things, well, they're pennies a piece, but
Do they need to go in and be packaged in the bags, these items?
we do package them, yeah. We do package them before we carry them down there. So then we put them in big suitcases.
Do you want it already packaged
That would be nice. If you only can put 2 or 3 items in your bag, we'll add to them, because everyone doesn't need to
Clerk,
do
please.
that. Yes.
We did, bags for the homeless.
Uh-huh.
And there are bags that you can get that are like backpacks, that are not really expensive.
Uh-huh.
And those were ideal because they not only get the items, but they can reuse the bags.
Oh,
So
well,
that might
okay.
be something you're looking for.
So then we don't have something to throw away.
Yeah, instead of plastic that's in the environment, now you have something that the kid can use to go to school or to take wherever.
It's a great idea because they don't recycle there.
I'm sure.
Yeah, that would be great. Okay, we will have a meeting to get ready, talk about the material, talk about the crafts and so forth. We obviously haven't set that because we're just announcing to you the dates, again, July 7th through the 19th. I'd love to have a half a dozen young people or middle-aged people or anyone that wants to go with us. We have enough old folks like myself, but if you'd like to come along too, you'd certainly be welcome to travel with us. But if you'd let me know who might be available, we'll set a meeting and we'll do the training and so forth and get everyone organized by that time. So one more thing, thank you for all of those folks who did tribute some funds last year. We have money available, and so we'll provide the food items again, just like we did, and again, they were very appreciative of that. One more thing that I want to mention, in addition to Vacation Bible School, and that is the pastor situation in Jamaica. They have had several pastors have passed away. I remember it's been about 8 or 9 years ago, Pastor Webley passed away. You don't know Pastor Webley. Pastor Webley served every week until he was 90 years old. The pastor at Port Antonio, Brenda, help me with the name. Huh?
Teresa Reed.
Miss Reed. Miss Reed, yeah, it was Teresa. She was 85 and she has retired. She did preach for a little while, but she's just not physically able to do that anymore. Pastor Isaiah Campbell is still with us, but he's either 95 or 96 years old. And some of the other meetings they've had their pastors have just simply passed away, and they've not had the opportunity, nor do they have the wherewithal to replace them. They have 12 meetings in Jamaica, 12 active pastored meetings. They have 2 pastors. The 2 pastors they have are pastors that we North Carolina trained and recorded their gifts in 2014. We recorded 11 pastors at that time. And leading up 3 years before that, through 11, 12, and 13, we went down there numerous times, and some of you may have gone down there and provide some of that training. And we need to continue to do that. We're also working with them and through FUM to get a couple of pastors to come there from Kenya. Our friends Theological College in Kaimosi, they are preparing about 100 pastors per year. They're sending them into Tanzania and Uganda, into the Congo, and throughout up in Turkana region. And these folks, when they graduate from FTC, they know the Bible and they can preach. And so we know that we have 5 pastors that are interested in coming to Jamaica and working with our missions committee and through Jamaica. We hope that we can help them fund that and help them become successful in that way also. Anybody have any questions about anything pertaining to the outreach or Jamaica, either one?
Who do we give the supplies to?
I'll notify me. I'll come pick them up wherever you are, wherever anyone is. Just let me know that you have them available. And we got about 75 days to get ready here. Brenda and I will be going down between now and then, probably around the latter part of May. We're going to go down and meet with our young people, with our team there. We're going to carry our VBS materials, our lesson plans, and so forth. And we'll be going to every meeting and training them. And at that time, If we have some of these goodie bags already there, we'll simply put them in our suitcase, carry them along with us. That's the best and cheapest way to get them there. So a couple of suitcases, it'll cost us about $70 to transport them down there. So the sooner you get them to us, well, the better chance we'll have them to get them there. Thank you, folks. Thank you for all that you do for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Brent. Brenda, do you want to come and share the missions? Brenda's walking on a new knee.
Yes.
Mm.
It's full today.
Your missions committee is a very dedicated group of people, and it seems like everybody on the missions committee has their own particular mission that they're most fond of. So our meetings are very excited because everybody gets to talk about their particular mission field. Now, we get most of our money from trust funds. We don't get a whole lot of money besides that. Last year we had Mission Sunday. 7 monthly meetings contributed. Our only fundraiser is the silent auction, which did very well last year because we had lots of items from Mary Arrington's estate. So that worked out well. We appreciated that very much. So this year, when you get the notice about Mission Sunday, please consider making that possible because there are many good projects and mission fields that we donate to, but then when something comes up that's not in our budget, we don't have very many funds to help with it. For example, this year we would like to donate money to Lagulu. We already give money to Lagulu, but when USAID was pulled out, a lot of the nurses can't be paid, especially in the critical care area. Lagulu is Lagulu Friends Mission Hospital. It's not a government hospital, it's a private hospital run by the Friends. And everybody wants to go there because they know the excellent care they will receive. So please this year, have your meeting contribute to Mission Sunday. One of the missions I want to talk about is FEMAP. Norman and Judy Craven are two of the most fantastic volunteers who go to Springfield every Wednesday and work, along with several other dedicated people. And Judy shared with me their budget and their financial report from last year, and I thought you would find this very interesting. Missions Committee gives them $1,000. Their total donations last year were $8,836.66. Of that, Westfield Friends gave $5,000. Our USFW gave $2,262, but of that, $1,125 came from Chatham Friends. So there are lots of friends who are very supportive of FEMAP, which is a wonderful organization. And Judy shared with me today that they have a new mission that they're contributing to called Helping Hands. Helping Hands actually came to them and said, would you help us? Helping Hands delivers meals. And so Helping Hands asked FEMAP if they would prepare hygiene kits because they go into the homes and they could see where the hygiene kits would be helpful. And so they have another ministry to contribute to. In 2024, they were able to supply 2,892 kits. Thank you, FEMAP. Now, let me back up a minute. Roger told me I could talk about Friends World Committee for Consultation as well, FWCC. David and Rossi and Brent and I just got back from Scottsdale, Arizona, where we had the Section of the Americas meeting. So we had friends there, Central South America and Canada and the U.S. Rossi and David and I have been representatives for quite a number of years. We have many friends, and so this is always a special time for us because I got to see my friends from Bolivia and Peru and Guatemala and El Salvador, Canada, Jamaica. Oh, we had 5 Jamaican ladies there this year. That was wonderful. Our theme was from Isaiah 43:19. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. So that was our theme. So our speakers and our worship leaders talked about new things, doing new things. Our most wonderful worship service for me was on Sunday morning when the young friends did the worship. It was powerful. Yeah, there was a group of young friends who met at the World Plenary in South Africa, and so one of the people from Portland, Oregon, a young friend who was there, decided we're going to have a young friends group at section meeting. And so all these young friends came and met 3 days prior to the regular meeting, and they are full of fire for the Lord. It was a wonderful experience. I'd like to see us, Meg has volunteered that she'll help us get our young friends energized as well. So that was a great worship experience. The other thing we do is we meet in small groups. We call them home groups, and we do a lot of sharing. And the last session of our small group, we were to talk about what new thing were we going to be doing. You know, what had we learned? What had we experienced? What had the Holy Spirit said to us? What new thing were we going to do? And I just have to share this. South Americans and Central Americans are evangelical to the core. But we learn from each other because during these sessions we had programmed, unprogrammed, some semi-programmed worship, and we learn from each other. And so he's a pastor in Bolivia. He shared, when I get back to my meeting, after we do the Bible reading, we're going to have open worship, which was a totally new experience for them because they had not been doing that. I don't know how my congregation is going to take it, but we're going to have open worship and let the leading of the Holy Spirit be present. So I just wanted to say it's a wonderful, thank you for letting us be your representatives. Thank you. I don't think Brent mentioned Jamaica. We also contribute to Friends Campus Ministry. I'm not going to go through the list. If you are interested in what we spend money on, it's in the Ink Report on our website. And the new one will be out pretty soon because the last Saturday in April is the Ink Board meeting at Quaker Lake. And after that is presented to the board and approved, that it will be on the website as well. Thank you.
Under the ink on the website, is it in North Carolina Yearly Meeting ink?
Yeah, NCYME.
Okay, okay.
Thank you, Brenda. Monica, if you'll come and bring us up to speed on annual sessions so far.
Clerk, please. Just as a way of save the date, annual sessions this year will be Friday, August the 8th. Half day, you know, starting there after lunch, through Saturday the 9th, all day. We do not have an official speaker yet, but that is definitely in the works, so be in prayer for that. But we do have Sydney Matthews lined up again for Saturday to be our junior yearly meeting facilitator, I guess you could say, corraller of the kiddos, is what I like to call it. But she has been that for the last couple of years, and I know each year her group of kids has been growing, so hopefully they're going and telling their friends and bringing them with them. Secondly, we have also lined up Friends Baltimore to do a special time of music for an hour on the lawn, weather permitted, Saturday from 4 until 5. And just so you know, if anybody is ever interested in joining the program committee, we will welcome you with wide open arms. In fact, we will probably run and greet you. So if you are interested, there are 4 of us currently, hence why I said we are accepting volunteers. We would gladly love to have you, and that is myself, Brenda McKinney, and my 2 Davids, Milliken and Hobson. And Erin Mittmeyer is ex officiary on there since she is assistant clerk. But Roger Green, the last that I checked, was chair of nominating, so you could also give him your name, is that correct? Are you still chair?
I don't know.
Oh, okay, well, you just got put out as chair, so there you go. And he's scratching his head.
Each quarterly meeting is responsible.
And
to have
that's
two
what
people.
I was about ready to say. It is technically each quarter, their responsibility to have 2 reps on program or a committee in general. Am I correct? Like just in general.
Program,
So,
sure.
so just let us know. Because we are also doing other things when it comes time at annual session, so we are already stretched thin as it is. And, you know, I do agree with the smaller committee gets things done, but sometimes you can be too small and you just don't know enough people to ask, you know, and you start exhausting your options. So please, please, please be in prayer for that. And like I said, we would love to have you. Am I forgetting anything, my 3 members that are here? No? Okay, all right, thank you.
See, Monica goes off road.
See Monica, what?
Went off road.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Thank you, Monica.
Yeah, did the illegal cut through the parking lot.
Erin Mittmeyer, who's chair of AOC, couldn't be here today, so I'll take her place, step away from my clerk duty here. Have a couple of things. Hugh Spalding has resigned as from the AOC, and Southern Quarter has replaced him with Roger Green. So Roger will be our Southern Quarter member going forward. Last time we had a concern from WIFAC and a suggestion that annual sessions be moved as far as the dates. We kind of tabled that for more discussion. We hadn't come to any kind of conclusion from AOC, so that's not gone away. It's still there. We'll revisit it. We had our most recent meeting was March 15th, and at that time we had a minute that I had distributed to you folks. Minute of intent to protect that came to us from Fayetteville friends, and rather than try to get this body as a full body involved in whether to endorse the minute or how to handle it, we thought it'd be much the best if we did this on a meeting by meeting. You can go back, take your copy of it, present it to your meeting for discussion and perusal, and decide if you want to endorse it as it is, endorse it with changes, maybe come up with something yourself that you'd like to endorse. But I thought it was timely and something we need to think about going forward. Any questions about the minute of intent or anything like that? I'm gonna apologize for this, but given my age and the amount of coffee I drink, we're gonna have to take about a 2-minute recess before we get into this town hall. And so y'all got a 2-minute recess, and I'll be right back.
Well, I was already to say, but you ain't the only one.
Okay. Don't slow down.